massive earthquake in this already historic presidential race. Good evening on this seismic Sunday. I'm Norah O'Donnell in Washington with 107 days until Election Day. President Joe Biden announcing he is ending his reelection campaign. The president released the decision today in a statement at 1:46 p.m. Eastern Time. Mr. Biden saying, quote, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." In a separate social media post at about 2:13 Eastern, the president endorsed his vice president, Kamala Harris, to replace him as his party's standard bearer ahead of its national convention, which begins August 19th in Chicago. And then we heard from the vice president, who wrote, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination. Over the past year, I have traveled across the country talking with Americans about the clear choice in this momentous election. And that is what I will continue to do in the days and weeks ahead. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump and his extreme Project 2025 agenda." It should be noted, we now just have 107 days until Election Day. And so Kamala Harris says, "Together we will fight and together we will win." Now, the president is at home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, this weekend recovering from COVID. He is expected to address the nation later this week. He's the first president since Lyndon Johnson in 1968 to decline to seek a second term. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes is at the White House. And Nancy, what do we know about how the president came to this historic decision?
Well, he came to this decision, Nora, within the past 24 hours. It has been days, if not weeks, of White House officials from the president on down insisting that he was in it to win it, that he was tuning out the doubters, and that he was going to win this race. Until this morning, when we started to get word that potentially he had a change of heart. Right around 2 o'clock Eastern Time this afternoon, he made it official in an announcement to the American people. We're told that just a few minutes before that, he told his senior advisors. Before that, though, holed up in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. He was there with just a few members of his inner circle, including his deputy chief of staff, his longtime right-hand woman, Annie Tomasini, two of his longtime senior advisors, Mike Donnellan and Steve Rischetti. All those doubters, it appears, just got too loud, and he started to have a change of heart. After he told the American people that he had decided to bow out of the race, he threw his support behind Vice President Harris. We got word, Nora, from the president's brother earlier today saying that the president's health, he believes, was a factor in his decision. But just a short time ago, I heard from a source close to the Biden family, and they said that Frank Biden, the president's younger brother, is an alcoholic, that he hasn't spoken to the president in weeks, and that the president's health had nothing to do with his decision to leave the race.
Nancy Cordes at the White House with that information. Nancy, thank you. Congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane is here with us as well. And shortly after President Biden endorsed his vice president, we heard from a number of prominent Democrats. Scott, is the Democratic Party coalescing behind Kamala Harris?
A big chunk already has. She picked up a block of Senate endorsements and picked them up quickly, nearly 24 by our CBS News count. And it's some of the lions of the U.S. Senate. Patty Murray, third in the line of presidential succession. She chairs the Appropriations Committee. Mark Warner of Virginia chairs the Intelligence Committee. Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts has her finger on the pulse of the progressive wing of the caucus. And then all the House groups, Congressional Progressive Caucus, the Black Caucus, the Hispanic Caucus, and from some of the other names we've heard associated with potential candidacies, including Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. And there on the screen, some of those members of the House January 6th committee who spent so much time investigating 2020 and the efforts of Donald Trump to overturn the election. And if this all sounds familiar, this broad base of voices in the Democratic Party, it was a broad base of voices in the Democratic Party calling on President Biden to withdraw. This, in a way, has unified an often fractious Democratic caucus.
So much has changed in just a short period of time. Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much. Want to bring in John Dickerson, who joins us now. And John, it's hard to overstate what a seismic event this is. How does this change the contours of this presidential race?
Oof. Well, we're still figuring that all out, Nora. I mean, one of the ways is, first, the Democratic Party has to figure out how to get unified. They have to go through that series of issues. And we've been talking about the timeline. You mentioned LBJ. You know, when Johnson dropped out in 1968, he wasn't essentially the party nominee. I mean, Joe Biden is the nominee, which means the entire Democratic process made him the party nominee. To unwind that means taking care of some sensitivities and bruised feelings that might be out there as a way to get the party unified to then go forward. So the first big task is staying unified, and the second is figuring out how to take the fight to Donald Trump. Democrats are terrified that basically since the first debate, the only debate, 27th of June, they've been losing ground to Donald Trump, not able to take the case to him. The Republicans just emerged from their convention highly unified. When can the Democratic ticket form itself, which means, of course, that crucial vice presidential decision, but then when can it start prosecuting the case against Donald Trump, which it has not been able to do basically since the end of June?
John Dickerson, thank you.